This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. I'm Roby Brock. We are glad to have you with us. Our first guest today has been a little busy this week in Arkansas and around the country. Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, good to see you.
Thank you,
always.
Roby. Glad to be on.
Thank you for being here. Let's talk first about cracking down on robocalls. I would be willing to estimate that this is the #1 complaint you get in your office right now. What have you guys launched this week nationally, and how is that going to affect people in Arkansas?
Well, you're absolutely right. It is the #1 complaint that I hear, not just in the office, but across the state. People are sick and tired of these out-of-control robocalls. This week, I was in Washington, D.C. and announced a partnership with not only all 50 state attorneys general, but also the private industry to crack down on robocalls. A memorandum of understanding outlining 8 principles to use technology that is available today to trace back these calls, to label the calls, and importantly, to block these calls.
Yeah. Do we need more laws on the books to prosecute against these violators of these, or is the law already there?
Well, in Arkansas, during this past legislative session, we passed a strong law to move it from a misdemeanor to a felony conviction, but also requiring our phone companies to file with what's called the Public Service Commission every year what they are doing to stop the calls. Federally, yes, I do believe that we're going to need more to encourage our phone companies to stop these robocalls. Many of them are originated out of country and they travel through several different carriers. And so this memorandum of understanding that we all signed and announced last week is a good start in the right direction to shut down these calls.
All right, let's talk about what you and the governor did with the Veterans Legal Clinic at the Bowen School of Law, your alma mater.
It is.
There. You guys committed a combined $1.5 million to provide free legal services to veterans. What services will they get there?
Well, this Veterans Legal Services Clinic is going to be instrumental to not only help our veterans. We have nearly 220,000 veterans living in Arkansas. And what this clinic will do will teach students, law students, how to help our veterans, particularly as they are working through the process of having perhaps their benefits being denied. It's such a convoluted, complicated process, as Colonel Nate Todd, who's the director of the Arkansas Veterans, stated in our press conference the other day. It's very complicated. We hear that at the AG's office. And so what the governor and I wanted to do was to put something in place at the law school to allow for free services for Arkansas's veterans.
All right, let's go. We're a little bit tight on time. I got time for one more question here. I have heard from multiple legislators that if they could call a special session, they would want to talk about vaping as something. They feel like there is a need for more laws on the books. We saw some activity at the tail end of the session. What is your take on that? Do we need to do something about this? Has this reached epidemic proportions to you?
While I am generally not one to push for more regulations, we absolutely must wrap our hands around the vaping epidemic. It is a true epidemic in Arkansas and across the country. Every single superintendent, school official that I have spoken with has said we have a vaping problem at our schools. Young people as young as 3rd grade have been caught vaping. A kindergartner brought a vape to school, and so they call it their jewel room instead of the bathroom. They have no idea what they're putting into their bodies, into their systems, and each vape pod contains about as much nicotine as an entire pack of cigarettes. So imagine that 14, 15-year-old sitting down and smoking an entire pack of cigarettes.
What do you want to see done?
So I have spoken to the governor about this. I've talked to our legislators. We've also talked as attorneys general from across the country about looking at the responsibility of these companies who are promoting these products, how they're selling them online. Young kids can get online now and purchase vape pods that taste like bubble gum or cotton candy. These are not your vapes that taste like Marlboro Reds or menthol Cools.
I don't know what those taste like, by the way. So.
Well, I can assure you they probably do not taste as good as bubble gum or cotton candy. Yeah. And that's what, but these have been targeted toward children. And we must make sure that even though we raise the limit to 21 to be able to purchase it, or it will go to 21 nicotine products, that we've got to educate. And unfortunately, we are going to have to regulate this industry more because it is absolutely a danger to our kids.
You support a special session to do that?
I do indeed. And we're working, looking into what sort of laws we could pass, we should pass, to make sure that Arkansas kids are protected.
All right. We're bumping up on time, but you'll stick around for a little web extra with us?
I will.
All right, Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, thank you.
Thank you, Roby.
All right, we're back with more right after this. All right, welcome back to this Web Extra. I'm Roby Brock. I'm with Attorney General Leslie Rutledge. We ran out a little bit of time on air, but I wanted to talk to you about another couple of things. Let's talk about the healthcare lawsuit that you have been a part of with some other attorneys general. Basically, the crux of the lawsuit is the individual mandate penalty was repealed in the tax law of 2017, I think. And therefore, you are arguing with others that that makes the Affordable Care Act unconstitutional, correct?
That's right.
My premise is right.
That's
All
right.
What do you think will happen if that lawsuit is successful? It's on appeal right now.
It is on appeal at the Fifth Circuit, and that was argued back in July. And ideally, we will win that lawsuit. But it's time for Congress to act and to have something ready in place when the Affordable Care Act is ruled unconstitutional. Because, again, as you just stated, that is exactly our argument. When Chief Justice John Roberts essentially said, yes, because we can assert this fee if you do not take care of the individual mandate. Once the individual mandate was removed in that tax law in 2017, the entire reason that was the crutch that he was leaning on to uphold the Affordable Care Act has fallen.
So, but you think that the onus is on Congress to come up with something new and different? You don't think that the attorneys general that have brought the lawsuit, you're just arguing the constitutionality?
Well, we don't have the authority
Sure.
to write laws in Congress, and we will certainly make suggestions, as I hope all Americans do, and continue to do. And we don't want our rural hospitals to be hurt by this. We don't want individuals to be hurt by not having access to health care, but what we do want are laws that are constitutional and not be enforced on Americans.
All right, got to ask you this question too. Everybody's talking about the future office that they may run for these days. We've heard from Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin. We have heard rumors of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. The governor's even said he's open to some other things. State Senator Jim Hendren is looking at a couple things. You have basically said it's too early to talk about this. Is that still your position?
Well, and I thought you were going to ask me how Juliana, my new baby's doing. So she is a little over
I'm not
1 year.
done yet,
Oh,
so.
okay, just checking. We'll see. It's 3 years. It's over 3 years until we elect the next governor. That's 3 football seasons. I was excited to see Coach Chad Morris at the Little Rock Touchdown Club this past week. I'm very optimistic about the season. A lot can happen in the next 3 years. We have got a great team at the Attorney General's office. We've done so much. So we're not going to rule anything out, Roby.
All right, so here's my setup for you here. So here's some potential offices you could seek. You tell me how many may be on the radar, okay? Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Arkansas Supreme Court, Congress.
Well, there were 4 offices.
Yeah.
So, and right now, I'm focused on being the Attorney General. I am not looking to take a part-time job. I'm not looking for an after-school job. So we are focused on being the Attorney.
I'm going to take Lieutenant Governor off right there. So there's 3 of the 4 that may still be there. Those are my words, not yours, right?
Those are all your words. We're focused on doing the work of going after criminals and con artists.
You make me this promise. When you're ready to announce what you might do in your future politically,
I love it. I love it.
You will let me know.
When I'm ready to announce what I might do, then I will let you know.
Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, thank you so much. All right. That's all for this Web Extra. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.